Hello. We want to welcome you to Let Us Connect. So glad to have you here with us. It's just been a wonderful time as we're preparing for this great show. And we have a great guest and a lot of wonderful ideas to talk about, and that we hope will be really opening to a lot of our thinking and our living and our choices in this time. And so I just want to again welcome you to Let Us Connect, and we're live now on Thursdays, as you can see, from 7 to 8 p.m. live, and we're going to be on bi-weekly, so that's 2 times a month, on Channel 17 from 7 to 8. We are now able to take some live call-ins. We don't have to go through my cell phone anymore and have a message given to us. But this is the first night that we've been having this new setup here for live phone calls, and we're really excited about it. So throughout the show, after, say, about the first 15 minutes or so, quarter of the show, you could start calling and asking questions of our guest, and we'll be glad to take the time to answer those on the air. Okay, I want to say thank you to our sponsors, and tonight our sponsor is a new one, Madame Lu Chinese Restaurant on State Street, and that graphic should be coming up here. And Madame Lu is supplying some food for our crew afterward, and I would definitely want to give her that plug. Okay, and then of course we have Subway sandwiches, and we also have Sundowner Draperies here in Santa Barbara. Okay, so we're going to get started. We have a great, and I want to of course say thank you so much to our crew, Renato and Francine and Daryl, the director, and all of the staff here that's helping us with these new phone system for you, and also we're live streaming now. And I believe that we're streaming in the right now live, and so you can tell your friends, and they can call in from anywhere around the world, and we can show you the link coming up here on the graphics. So watch for the link. The other thing that I want to say, and I will say again, is that you can call in live tonight, and it is a toll-free number, even though it may not look like it. The usual numbers for toll-free, it is a toll-free number. So you can begin calling in, okay, when you're ready. All righty. Well, first thing I want to do is introduce or present my guest tonight, first-time guest. We're so happy to have her and to have you. And I want to say welcome to you, Nora Herold.
Hi, Martha.
So glad you're here.
Oh, thank you so much for having me on tonight. I really appreciate
you're welcome.
You and your work, and your desire to open this all up to everyone.
Yes, definitely. And I just look forward to your friend Wendy that you work with, Wendy Kennedy. Actually, she was I believe our last guest, or the guest a couple times ago. Was here with us and channeling the Pleadians, and she works with you, is that right?
Yes.
And you also channel the Pleadians.
That's correct. I work with the 9th Dimensional Pleiadian Collective and other beings as well.
And other beings as well.
Yes.
Wow. Well, what a privilege. So this is going to be quite a treat, and hopefully open us up to what they might have to say and what you have to share with us.
I'm sure we'll be hearing from them tonight.
Really?
Yeah.
They're excited about being here?
They're already here.
They're already here?
Yeah, I'm never apart from them any longer.
Oh,
yes.
Okay. Great. Well, let's talk just a little bit about you. I want to look here on your bio a little bit and see what you're all about. Also, we have your graphics coming up also for anyone that would like to contact you, and some of the events that are coming up for you will be coming up on the screen. And but anyway, when did you start with your channeling, and how did you do it?
First made contact in 1996.
1996.
Yes, I had been reading tarot cards for many years prior to that, and used tarot as a means to help me connect. And before that, as a child, I was sensitive and emotional and extremely intuitive, but I didn't really understand that that's what was going on.
Yeah.
I just felt a lot all the time.
Was your family, were they also involved in the intuitive idea, or did they understand you at all? This is an interview. We'll get some good questions
Yeah,
there.
I was raised Catholic.
Okay.
But I had a dad who wasn't Catholic and who loved to watch the show In Search of.
Oh, okay.
Do you remember In Search of? In Search of UFOs,
Yes.
In Search of the Loch Ness Monster.
Yeah.
So we would watch that together. I had a mother who read me the book A Wrinkle in Time by Madeline L'Engle when I was very young, which was all about other planets and time travel. And so even though I was raised in a very traditional Catholic environment, I had additional information come in.
I see. Okay.
Yes.
So that was on your side.
Yes.
That was kind of helping along. It wasn't like they were just like, oh, it's just your imagination. Oh, it's just nothing like.
No,
that's
no.
good.
In fact, I could contact my mother telepathically, and she and I knew that was happening.
Huh.
So if I needed
great.
her attention as I was older, I would send her a message, and 5 minutes later, the phone would ring, and
That's
she would say, "What do you need?"
And she was aware of that too?
She was.
Okay.
Yes.
So that gives you a good head start, and that's why one of the reasons we like to broadcast this is for others that have younger people or our younger people to begin to become aware of what we have, what they can have.
Absolutely.
Available.
Well, and the children coming in now are at such a high level, so much of a higher level than we were. When we came in, they really need that support.
Yes, definitely. Well, let's move on a little bit here. Okay, so then you began to channel, okay, and how did it change from the being intuitive and working with your tarot into the channeling?
So, I loved reading tarot, but I felt something missing.
Okay.
It was very logical for me, and I'm very logical as well. So I have that kind of combination of very intuitive and then also very practical, logical. Is helpful.
Yeah.
It's helpful to be both.
It can be helpful to be grounded a little bit.
Yes, definitely. So I was hanging out with a friend one night, and she actually told me about Wendy Kennedy. She had just met Wendy. So this was 17 years ago, back in Chicago.
Yes.
And
you're from Chicago.
Yes.
So am I.
Oh,
yes,
you
born
were?
and raised in Chicago.
How funny. Where?
On the northwest side.
Yeah, me too. Mount Prospect.
Oh, really? Oh, my God. That was more like Belmont and Central. That's amazing.
That's funny. I meet a lot of Chicago people here in California. There are a lot of us who have migrated.
They've come out.
Yes, as
definitely.
we've expanded and grown.
Yes.
So Amy and I were hanging out, and she mentioned this woman, Wendy, who channels. And I said, what's that, talking to dead people?
Yeah.
Because that was my understanding of it. And she said, well, Wendy talks to her spirit guide. And when she said the word spirit guide, I knew that was what I was supposed to be doing.
Okay. Just it. Okay.
I knew it. I was 29 years old at the time.
Resonated right then.
Yeah. Had just gone through my first Saturn return.
Okay.
So had gone through, a huge upending of my entire identity and understanding of my reality. So within about 5 minutes, I had established contact with my spirit guide, Mirando.
Okay, Mirando.
Yes, and it was very simple for me to establish that contact once I knew what it was I was looking for.
Well, okay. Then you could go right in. Right.
I had always...
And you had known him before, right?
Mirando? Oh, yes. Mirando is Mirando is a being who I know very well.
Known well. Okay.
In fact, my partner, Jonathan, who I've been with for 13 years, is an aspect of Mirando's energy. I was not with him.
How did you find that out? That he was an aspect?
Well, because I channeled Mirando for a couple of years, and then I met Jonathan.
Okay.
And almost immediately got a new personal spirit guide.
I see.
And she presented as female, and I thought, oh, well, that makes sense. I'm in a relationship with a man. I need, like, this female energy to help me. And then about 6 months into our relationship, I thought, where the hell is Mirando?
Yeah.
So I connected up with him, and I realized as soon as I established contact that Mirando and Jonathan share the same frequency, the same energetic signature.
Really? Yep. Wow.
Yes.
Wow, we've already got a lot. Now, you folks, this is just the beginning. So if you want to start calling, we'll put the number up, and you can give us a call and ask a question, okay? Because this is a great opportunity to do that with you. Okay, so you began to awaken, and it said you had past life memories and felt, you know, a lot of energy through your hands. Were you a healer?
I'm a Reiki master.
You're a Reiki master.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So you're a Reiki master, and you're a channel.
Yes.
And what else?
What else? I used to be an actress.
Okay.
I talk about that now.
That's funny.
I used to be afraid to tell people that I was an actress.
Oh, yeah.
Once I began channeling, my fear was that they wouldn't believe I was channeling.
Yeah, because you're an actress.
Yes. And now I come to understand, and I have come to understand that my path has led me to channeling. Acting, all of that training was a huge part.
Yes, it gave you a great, wonderful experience in how to project and how to let go and act and
be
talk
in front of people.
In front of people, absolutely.
Yes.
All helps with that. Okay. All right. So you realized that you, when you were channeling, that you really wanted to do more.
Yes.
Is that right? It says you weren't real happy just with that after a while. Isn't that what happens as soon as we have something new and wonderful? It's like, okay, got to move on. What happened there?
Well, I was waitressing. I'd been waitressing for a long time and acting, and then my guides said to me, okay, it's time for you now to take what you're doing out to more people.
Okay.
And actually, the piece that caused me discomfort was taking what was very kind of sacred and personal and special and turning it into a career. That was a very challenging piece for me, and I threw up a lot of resistance around that.
To actually go into the career and use this to make a living.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
was it the idea of being able to charge people and
it was that
money and that kind of thing in the past?
It was that. It was also the level of responsibility I feel that goes along with when you slap a title on yourself and walk in the world is that way.
Yeah.
So I resisted for a while, and then the restaurant I'd worked at for 10 years closed.
Oh.
So then I transferred to another restaurant, and my guides, I could just hear them laughing, you know, like, okay.
I told you.
And within 2 weeks, I was done waitressing, and they said to me, okay, Nora, you can continue to accept money from people for giving them food and alcohol, or you can receive money from them for helping them.
Wow.
And as they...
I love that.
Yeah.
I really love that. They just knew exactly what to say.
They always do.
Yeah, perfect.
You know?
When you're worried about it, it's like you open up and...
Yes. And I haven't looked back since. So I've done this work professionally now for 14 and a half years.
14 and a half years. Yeah. And what is it that you normally I would ask this later, but what is it that really is, you feel that you are contributing, that is something that you will leave a mark on the world, or what is it that particular that you're contributing yourself, and what do you enjoy the most, you might say?
What I enjoy the most is the transmission of love, energy that moves through me and that helps those I connect with feel loved.
That's fantastic. Yes, wow.
The specific piece, the specific piece as far as what I'm helping people with right now is really integrating their higher selves, clearing their ego attachments, and operating at a higher vibrational level in their lives right now.
Fantastic, wow. I love that. I love that. How's that? That's fantastic. Okay, so you are working full-time now in that field, and you have your significant other,
Jonathan,
and how did the two of you, how do you work? Do you work together?
We do.
Also, did you say he's a Reiki master?
He is a Reiki master, and he also channels, and he's a composer. He's got beautiful music out there available. Yeah.
Wow.
We met at a metaphysical bookstore in Niles, Illinois.
Oh, that's great. Wow.
He came in one night when I was working to get a reading from somebody else, and that's how I started. You know, I was $1 a minute reader. Yes.
Wowee.
In the Chicago area. Yeah. And he came into the store and he walked by me and I recognized him immediately as the person I'd had a dream about when I was 12 years old.
No. Well, we need to hear that story. Let's hear. We'll get down here to more substance stuff, but I want to hear that. You had a dream about him? And
yes.
And wow.
At 12, I dreamt about...
Did you tell him that?
I told him pretty soon. Yeah, you know, I don't hold back.
Yeah. How did it affect him?
He doesn't hold back either.
Oh, okay. So that's good, because if he did, that could be a little...
Yeah. You know, in our first phone conversation together, we realized we have the same sun, moon, and rising signs.
Oh, you do?
And we both know enough and knew enough back then to know that that's really significant.
Yes, exactly. Right.
But his statement to me was, I'm not ready to know what that means yet. I've just met you. We partner in all aspects of our work, in our lives, and he's very much a support in the work that I do, and an amazing healer himself.
Oh, wonderful. That's fantastic.
Yes.
That's how fortunate, really, to be together, to be with someone that you're so close to and share the same, inspiration and mission, so to speak.
Fortunate and intense, because we're a direct mirror for each other all the time.
Wow.
Okay.
Okay. Now, you have this DVD series, Illumination Matrix, and I know that when Wendy was on, we had them right here, the DVDs, and unfortunately, we don't have them here tonight. But what is that? Tell us a little bit about it. We don't sell here, we're nonprofit, but we can certainly say that you have them, and people can contact you to get them. And what are they? And what led up to it?
I met filmmaker Calliandra about 3 years ago now here in Ojai. I live in Ojai.
Oh, okay. Yes.
Currently.
We missed that.
That's all right.
That's important.
It found its way in.
Yeah, it sure did.
Ojai is a place.
Yeah,
and
it is.
For anyone who hasn't been there, it's an amazingly intense, energetic space and area. So Calliandra and I were connected there soon after I moved to Ojai.
You did.
Just a few months after moving there. A mutual friend felt maybe we should meet, and we worked together individually. He and I, he'd come and film me channeling. And then he came up with the idea to film sessions in front of an audience.
Oh.
So we pulled Wendy Kennedy in as well. So volumes 1 and 2 are complete and out there. The first is on the shift.
Okay.
The second is on manifestation, moving from law of attraction into law of creation, and really understanding the difference between a third dimensional manifestation operating system and a fifth dimensional operating system.
We're going to talk about that a little bit tonight, okay?
Yes.
Wow. So anyway, I hope that you are doing well with those and that people are really resonating and able to hear them.
Thank you. Them. Yes, we are, and we're very happy with them.
Good.
Yeah,
Fantastic.
And grateful.
Okay. Well, let me say again, if anyone wants to call in tonight, if you're out there, give us a call, and as we talk more and share more and maybe do some channeling here, you may have some questions that come up, and they can probably ask questions about most anything.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. A lot of times we say relationships, we say money, we say job, career, we say health, even spiritual things.
Sure.
So if anything like that comes up, I believe that you would be able to
whatever it is, they will handle it.
They'll handle
it.
Okay. All right.
I mean, Nora has plenty of opinions, and Nora has access to a lot of information now as well.
Okay. Sure. Yeah, work together.
Yes.
Yeah.
We do work together.
Well, something that you said earlier really, really struck me as something I wanted to ask first about this idea of integrating the chakras, the first chakra, integrating, and maybe if we understand that we know what the chakras are, because we're, on TV and we're reaching out hopefully to people that are just hearing this as well. So if you just tell us a little bit what that might mean, the first chakra and the other ones, and we'll ask you how to send love to each other.
Sure.
Or to others.
And that's also, really I just need to let you know, the gang, meaning the Pleadians and Yeshua and the fairies, and all are linking up very strongly with me now. I'm feeling really altered, so I may hand off and let them answer some of these questions as well, and I'll let you know who it is that's speaking.
That's fine.
And in fact, the Pleadians would like to greet, if that's all right with you.
Yes, it's okay with me. Thank you for
Greetings, Martha. This is the 9th Dimensional Pleiadian Collective, and it is an honor and pleasure to be with you and all of your listeners at this time.
Thank you for coming.
We really appreciate you, your light, your service, your desire to be of service, and appreciate all of those tuning in as well.
Yes.
Because for all of you tuning in, please remember that you are here as a universal being of light in service as well. So we'll take that question you have about the chakra system.
Yes. Let's talk about that a little.
For the third dimensional human form, you've got 7 main chakra points, which are energy centers.
Okay.
All right.
Okay. Each human being has
each
that, right?
human being has 7 main chakras.
Okay.
You actually have many more chakras than that. All right. But you all, most of you, are more familiar with your 7 main chakra system.
Yes.
What's been happening over the course of the last few years is you have been working on clearing out the ego identity from each of these chakras and getting in touch with the identity of your higher selves. So you are literally transforming yourselves from the inside out. And this is the shift in consciousness that's underway.
I see. Transferring from the inside out.
Correct.
Okay. Wow. Okay, good. All right. I think we have a caller. Is that a good thing?
This is Nora. I'm back. I'm always present when I'm channeling, so that's absolutely wonderful.
Well, this is going to be our first call, Nora, and all of your wonderful Pleadians and people that are helping. And this is going to be our first call, so I'm going to say that we have Colleen on line 1, and I'm going to try to get it over here so I can get to her on the air. Hold on, this is my first time. Congratulations. Okay. Whoop. If I had the mouse in the right way, it might help. No wonder. Okay, we're just about there. All right. There we go.
We got it?
Hello, I got it. This is Colleen.
Wonderful. Hi, it's so nice to talk to you guys.
Yeah, you're our very first caller with
I'm
us.
calling from Delaware. I'm watching you live upstream, actually.
Oh, wonderful. We just got the streaming going, too, and Nora has friends all over, and we've had people before, so we're so glad to have you. Okay? Did you have a question?
I am so lucky to actually be having this conversation with you guys right now, so I really appreciate it.
Oh, it's wonderful.
Nora, I'm so
What's your
glad
question?
to talk to you.
Yeah, do you have a question for Nora?
I do. I actually recently just started channeling, and this is all very new to me. And it's having difficulty believing that I'm not making it up. And it's difficult, you know, and I can't get a name, and I know that it's not necessary. So I just wonder if you could give me your opinion on that.
Greetings, Colleen. This is the 9th Dimensional Pleiadian Collective, and we're going to talk to you for a minute, and then Nora will talk to you for a minute as well. We'll confirm that you are connected, you are channeling, you are linked up. And the way that you know this is true is because of the physical and emotional sensations you're experiencing while connected up, all right? And that's how all of you can discern in your realities right now what's going on. Really pay attention to what's occurring in your physical and your emotional bodies. So, Colleen, our recommendation for you is that you get pen and paper in front of you. And as you feel the link up happening, put the pen on the page and allow the being that you're connected with to speak through you through the pen. You may feel like you're hearing it first and then writing it second, or you may feel it may just come through you. You also might want to write a question out, take a breath, feel the link up happen, and then have them answer that specific question that you have asked. This is really going to help you access more information.
Okay.
Colleen,
thank you so much.
Colleen, much love to you. What a treat to connect with you.
Thank you very much.
Fully appreciate it, guys. Thank you so much. Have a great night.
Thank you for calling. And how's the weather in Delaware?
It is very nice. Very nice fall weather.
Good. Okay. All right. We're going to see now if I can get you off the air.
Okay.
Otherwise, we'll just keep talking.
Bye.
Okay. Bye-bye. Okay. Well, we've got another caller here on line 2, and this is Michelle. And so I want to say hello to Michelle. And you're on.
And hello, Nora.
You're on the air, Michelle. I'm so glad I know who you are.
Oh, thank you.
So glad that you called in. And tell us where you're calling from, Michelle.
I'm calling from Goleta here in California.
Oh, Goleta. Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
And I always watch your show, and I'm delighted I got through.
I am too. And did you have
Thank you.
I'm so glad you're here. It's so exciting to me. It makes me want to cry that this is actually happening. Anyway, did you have a question for our wonderful guest, Nora?
I do. Hello, Nora.
Hello, Michelle.
I just had a question. If the light beings or the Pleadians wanted to tell me anything, just a general question.
Greetings, Michelle. This is Yeshua. We greet you all with love and joy. And Michelle, we see that you are working right now on being more loving with yourself. And our message to you right now is to continue on that path. Those of you on the planet incarnate right now often forget the importance of nurturing and loving yourselves. And we see, Michelle, that you often give to the extent that you have not much left, or you feel you have not much left for yourself. One of the ways that you can shift that for yourself is to give yourself permission to allow that love that you're directing to everyone else to also come to you.
Okay. Thank you.
Allow it to come.
That was a beautiful message. Thank you.
Allow that to come to you. That's a wonderful idea, if I may say so.
You know, the way...
Because we direct it out and we don't always think about it coming back like that.
Yes, and I'm aware, this is Nora now.
Yes, okay, Nora.
I'm aware that as we inhale, we can at any point connect up to that universal love energy that exists for us. And as you inhale, you can really feel it in your heart center, your heart chakra, and feel that expansion. And then as you exhale, move the energy through your body, and that will really help with that replenishing.
Thank you so
much. Thank you so much for calling. It's wonderful to talk to you. I'm gonna try to get you off the air now. Good.
Okay.
and
okay.
Maybe
Good night.
we'll talk to you again soon. Okay. Bye bye.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Take care.
Bye, Michelle.
Okay, I did it.
You did.
All the listeners all the viewers are watching this whole process. That was a wonderful call. I'd just like to say a little bit more about how you allow that love to come back. How we have to be open and receptive.
Yes.
To be able to do that,
this is the Pleadians here.
Okay.
Yeah, well.
Good. Come on in.
The most important thing you all need to do is remember that you are love.
Okay. You are love. Yes.
You are a being of love.
Yes. Wow.
That you are never separate from love. But you often pretend that you are separate from love here in the third dimension. Yeah. And that's part of the third dimensional game.
Okay. That we think we're separate from love?
Yes, you think you're separate from love, from God, from each other.
From each other.
Exactly. Yeah. You're not.
Because we're in this third dimensional awareness, is that it?
That's correct, all right? So you use this mind of yours, this third dimensional mind, to clear out any and all information that tells you you are connected, you are source, that tells you you can time travel, that tells you you can teleport, that tells you you're telepathic. Yeah. And that's the mind you all set up for yourselves before you incarnated so you could have this experience.
Okay. So we could be in this third dimensional, in other words, is that what you're saying?
Correct.
We can experience it, so we have to kind of shut that out?
Well, what's happening for you, yes, the mind does that. Well, it worked wonders for all of you.
Okay.
But now as you're shifting, what you're doing is you're dropping from the mind into the heart center.
Oh, I like that. Wow.
As you drop
I do.
Yes. Yeah. As you drop into the heart center, you begin to create the fifth dimensional mind.
So we go from the mind to the heart center.
Correct.
And that's what's happening. That could be a little bit confusing for a while.
It's been incredibly confusing for many as we're watching you go through this. It's been an incredibly emotional ride for the last few years for many of you on planet Earth.
Well, how would you suggest being able to get more in touch with? That's a big question. Everyone's different, but what do you usually suggest or guide someone who's really wanting to to make this shift?
This is Yeshua here.
Okay.
So
Yeshua.
The breath is essential.
The breath.
Really remembering to breathe. And as you breathe, to feel yourself.
Okay.
Sunlight is essential.
Sunlight?
Yes.
So to go out in the sun?
Correct.
And maybe go out in the sun and really breathe?
Yes.
Wow.
Barefoot on the earth.
Okay.
Is
so
essential.
We still want to be grounded and taking in that energy.
This is the Pleadians braiding with Yeshua. So now you've got us and Yeshua working together.
Okay.
Those of you who are sensitive and listening, you can feel how we maybe are a bit different from how we were before.
What you were.
That's
okay.
right.
Yes.
All right. So the key is, remember, you're wanting to shift from the inside out.
Okay.
This is not a game of going up and out of the body. It's a game of clearing out the ego attachments in your chakra system, the 7 chakras, so you can remember that you are already your higher selves.
Okay.
And begin to operate as your higher selves while still physical.
Okay. So we can have to kind of get things out of the way, right? Old ideas and identities and so forth.
And traumas.
And traumas.
Trauma has been significant, clearing of traumas. And when we say trauma, we don't just mean trauma from this lifetime. We're seeing a lot of past life trauma clearing going on right now.
Really?
Yes.
Past life clearing.
That's right.
Wow. So I guess that we will probably all have quite a bit of work to do, or quite a bit of awareness.
Well, what's important for you all to remember is you are already high vibrational beings. What you really need to do is live your lives from a more conscious place. That's all you all really need to do. And it's not hard work. In fact, it's a lot harder to resist the process than it is to ease into it and allow it.
Okay. Well, resisting we seem to have a lot of fear.
Yes,
we
this
have
is
a lot
Nora.
of fear.
Yes.
And so, hi, Nora.
Hi.
Welcome back.
Thank you. Welcome to my world.
Welcome back. And welcome all of you to give another call if you'd like to ask Nora and the Pleiadian Collective and also your other beings.
Yeah, the fairies are linking up pretty strongly with me as well.
What do the fairies want to say? Do they have something they want to say?
This is Calliandra.
Wow.
Greetings. Oh, we're loving being on TV.
Little fairies.
This is Nora. So the fairies are 5th dimensional beings. So the Pleadians are at a 9th dimensional frequency.
9th, okay.
Yeshua's at a 12th dimensional vibration. Fairies are at a 5th dimensional. Now that doesn't mean they're higher and lower, wiser and dumber. They're different flavors. They're different experiences. As we in the 3rd dimension are a different experience. I'll let Calliandra back. We're really enjoying this time with you, Martha, and we're aware of your connection with the fairies as well, and your lifetimes actually as fairy, if you don't mind us giving that to you.
Well, that's interesting. It's a surprise.
Well,
at this moment, anyway.
It's something we all want you on the planet, all of you, to start accessing is your fairy identity, because all of you carry that connection to the fae. And when we say fairies, we don't mean Tinkerbell.
Okay.
We are gigantic beings.
Really? I didn't know that.
This is Nora. Calliandra manifested herself into my dining room one night as I was watching TV. So I'm watching TV, and over here, I see this huge 10-foot tall light being open a portal in my dining room and step in, and I know immediately it's Calliandra, and frankly, startled me.
Really?
Because of her size. And she's always told me, you know, that diminutive image we have of the fairy, that's not a true representation of their energy.
Wow. So they, I mean, yeah, because usually we see those, you know, usual stereotypical ideas of the little fairies twinking around, twiddling
You know,
around.
we take that form, Calliandra, again, so as not to scare you.
Oh, because of how big and how powerful they are, sounds like. And what do you mainly do? What are you here to do? So, since you're not little bitty things flitting around,
we are here actually to help guide all of you into your 5th dimensional identities.
Okay.
Because we are 5th dimensional beings. It used to be you didn't have as much access to the Fae, to the fairy in this way, because you weren't yet ready to understand yourselves as fifth dimensional beings, which is also why we presented ourselves as tiny.
Yeah.
We kind of hid the truth of our identities from all of you. But we're here as guides. We're also playmates. You will find yourselves seeing us more and more clearly. And many of you out there, we'll speak to all of you listening, many of you see the fairy. You see sparkles of light out of the corners of your eyes. You feel things. You see those wonderful orbs, and sometimes that's us, the fairy, presenting. Sometimes the orbs are angelic beings, sometimes other kinds of beings, but we'll certainly take that form with you as well.
Yes, okay. So that's a really good, thank you so much. That's a really good thing to remember, because a lot of times if we're aware, we notice that out of the corner of our eye, we see something light or flashing, and then when you look, it's gone.
Yes, we often see you all, not you, but often many of you dismissing those things.
Yes, yes, we just think, oh, it's just nothing, or a flash, or, you know, lights went out, or just, because we are in that, so many times we are aware in that third dimensional, and that's supposed, you know, doesn't accept that kind of thing.
Pleiadians here, and that's the third dimensional mind's job.
Yeah.
It was supposed to dismiss all of that information. But now, as you're shifting to your fifth dimensional identities, we need you all to embrace those experiences and that information.
Is there a lot of fear when does fear hold us back a lot of times when we see?
We see fear, but more than that, we see programming and conditioning.
Oh. Okay, we've been taught, oh,
That's
this is your imagination, or this is just,
yes.
Yeah. Okay, well, we've got to condition ourselves to something new. But you know, earlier I was just interested in this idea of how to send unconditional love to another. This is one of the things that we can talk about if you'd like.
Sure.
How do you send unconditional, that's pretty amazing. That whatever it is, there's love there, because as you said, we are love.
We are.
Yeah.
So
what would you like to give us about
you know,
that?
often, this is Nora, often what we are calling love on Earth is just a gamut of different emotions.
Really?
Anxiety. This is the Pleadians. Think about that you've just met somebody, feeling in your stomach you have, ooh, I hope he likes me.
Yeah.
And you're calling that love. Yeah, that's anxiety.
Okay. It's anxiety, okay.
Love is not an emotion. Love is a state of being.
Love is not an emotion.
It is not an emotion. It is a state of being.
Does it have to do with joy by any means?
Yes.
Joy would be a higher maybe frequency of what we would call emotion.
Correct.
Okay, is that
That's
correct?
right.
That's
okay? Right. And you're talking there about frequency versus emotion.
Yes.
And there is a big difference. In the third dimension, you ran off emotions.
Okay.
In the fifth dimension, you run off frequencies. Frequencies stay. Truthfully, love is in everything. But this love we're talking about here, not what you're calling the emotion of love.
Right.
But the energy of love is a force.
Ooh.
It is the force.
The force.
Correct.
And it doesn't come or go with like I've heard emotions are kind of like emotions, they come and go.
That's correct.
Yeah.
Love is a force that is always present.
It's always present.
It's not an accident that in your film series Star Wars, the force was talked about and described.
I see. Okay. So how do we know then, that we love someone in the sense that we want to connect and have a relationship if it's no emotion involved?
Well, more often than not, those desires to connect and have a relationship, frankly, are third dimensional attachments. Now, there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
All right?
Okay.
We want to be clear about this.
Yes.
But your interpretation in the third dimension of love and being in love has much more to do with attachments and resolution of karmic situations than most anything else.
Well, can that grow into an unconditional
Well,
love?
that unconditional love is typically there as well and can be there.
Okay.
What you're all going to find as you shift into a fifth dimensional version of yourselves, you're going to start clearing the attachments you have around your relationships.
Clearing the attachments. Whew.
Yeah.
That's not work?
Well, no, again, the clearing isn't work. The resistance to the clearing.
Why do we resist so much?
Fear.
Fear. Yeah,
sure.
That's what we get back to that.
And trauma. I think the resistance really, this is Nora again, is a manifestation of trauma. You know, what I've come to understand over the last few years is we're all running these incredible past life bleed-throughs in each and every moment, meaning we're having these situations, and at the same time as we come up on an issue from any other lifetime where we carried that issue, where it hasn't been resolved, it's being triggered as well.
Okay, so something that we haven't resolved that kind of catches up with us, so to speak, and comes up.
And as we feel that overwhelm, that sometimes will send us into fear and resistance.
Yeah, yeah. Wow.
This is the Pleadians, and the best way through that is to sit and breathe and send unconditional love to yourself and to any aspect of yourself in any moment in time that felt the same trauma. And you don't have to know all the stories. In fact, it's impossible for you all to know every life you've ever had.
That's ever happened.
That's right.
Every little,
So how do you do that? How do you send that love? You simply take a breath and you feel your heart expanding. And as you exhale, you allow the energy from your heart to move through your shoulders, your arms, out the palms of your hands. Every time you inhale, you expand. Every time you exhale, you run that energy out and through. And just allow that love to go where it needs to go.
That's wonderful. I bet that has a lot to do with healing, too, with the Reiki.
Yeah, this is Nora. It is Reiki. That is.
It is that. Wow.
You know, and Reiki is one name for something many of us do, and there are many names for it. You know, I have a hard time any longer really associating with any one healing modality.
I see.
Because I feel we're all just connecting up to that love energy and directing it.
Different ways.
Yes.
Yeah, different forms. Well, I just want to thank you right now again and take a moment to invite you wherever you are, wherever you are. You don't have to be here locally, to give us a call. And the number will be coming up, and it is a toll-free number. It doesn't look like it. It's a 978-253-0080, but it is toll-free, and you can call and ask, kind of tune in or connect, let us connect with Nora and the Pleiadians with any questions, love questions, relationship, health, finance, spiritual. Okay, as they come to you. Sincere questions, do give us a call. Okay, well, let's just go on a little bit more. I had some other things that really spoke to me here about the subject, and the one about the feeling of being stalled in your current realities. How do we deal with just sometimes feeling like we're in this rut, or we're not going anywhere, and we think we should be, okay? And we need to move on. That's a big question. You got a lot of big questions, a lot of answers. Has anyone ever felt like you just weren't moving on, as you'd like to, or as you feel, as you desire, and you're kind of just stuck, and we wonder, well, what should we do? Anything or nothing?
Well, there are a few things you can do. This is the Pleadians again. Yeshua is contributing as well, as are the fairies, actually. We'll just say the entire collective.
They're all here.
Is present. Yes.
We're honored.
Yeah, we're, again, grateful to have the opportunity, because anytime we come through in this way, we get to progress as well.
Oh, really?
Yes, so we get a deeper understanding of the third dimensional experience.
Yes, wow.
And as creator beings, that allows us to create with more depth, so to speak.
Okay.
So one of the things
continually expanding, continual.
Yes.
That's what's so amazing, because I kind of get bored easily, but you can't get bored. It's a continual expansion in the spiritual life. It's wonderful.
And it's interesting that you say that, because that answers, at least that's one answer to that question around feeling stalled.
Okay, good.
The perception you have is you're here in this one lifetime, and you've got a finite amount of time to get a whole bunch of things done.
Right.
And that tends to trigger the anxiety a lot of you are carrying.
Yeah, we're not getting it done. We don't know. Yeah.
Yes.
Time's running out, that kind of thing.
The truth is, you are multidimensional.
Okay.
You are not finite.
Ooh. Okay.
You have all the time in the universe to get everything done. Right. Everyone take a breath on that. Everyone that's listening, take a breath on that.
Okay.
And really feel the truth. Because as soon as you shift your perception in that way, suddenly you relax. And then as you relax, whatever it was you thought you needed to get done, either you find the solution, or you discover it wasn't that important in the first place.
Okay. Wow. So relaxing, not being in such a sphere of not getting things done, and then we tend to really push and try to use our will, and maybe we need to just relax.
That's right. And listen to your bodies. Your bodies have an amazing intuitive ability. The physical body itself.
The physical body.
You know, and part of what's happening right now with first chakra integration is you're really tending to your physical bodies and the physical nature of your realities. So you're beginning to upload this physical technology you all have. And this is one of the reasons, in fact, why you're all feeling stalled out right now. Because your bodies are going through a shift.
Okay, the body's going through a shift. Yes, there seems like there's so many. Yes. Yes. What else? It sure is.
What you're going to find is actually as you come up to the equinox, September 20th, 21st, 22nd, depending where you are on the planet, as you come up to the equinox, you're going to finish off the download, the transmission that started on the solstice back on June 20th.
Okay.
You're getting a second piece right around the time of the equinox. That's going to propel you forward now in your physical experience. So a lot of you are preparing for that right now. And as you're preparing, you're needing a lot of sleep. A lot of you are finding yourselves to be excessively tired. That tiredness is happening in part because you need to be still so your bodies can shift in the way they need to shift.
Okay, so being still and giving it a chance. I can see that. Just wearing ourselves out, running around all the time, not stopping and becoming aware of that can be kind of upsetting or kind of just, I don't know, just frantic.
Yes. And this is Nora. I'm chiming in as well. They have one other piece on this. The other thing you cannot do here is outpace the collective too much.
Okay. You kind of have to, we're all kind of in it together. In other words, all moving along.
Yeah, it's like grading on a curve. So there are some of you who are ahead right now. But if you get too far ahead, you leave the class altogether. You can't leave the class. It's not time yet. So you're able to be a bit ahead. Those of you who have awakened your ET consciousness, and that's the way we're framing it right now. Many of you have awakened your ET consciousness, and you're a bit ahead.
ET, okay.
But you're feeling frustrated because you want to get more ahead.
Okay.
And you can't because you cannot outpace the collective.
Wow. So it's really good to keep that in mind and try to continue to do what you can to help everyone grow and proceed. Instead of trying to outpace and kind of help everyone come along. Sort of like rappelling. It reminds me of a mountain. You know, you're going up the mountain and you're all tied together. You have to kind of move together.
Yes.
Something like that?
Yes, exactly. Yeshua here.
Yeshua.
When you asked about sending unconditional love, another way to look at that, when you're out in the world doing your day-to-day errands, you're not there to do your day-to-day errands. You're there to connect from a place of love. At the grocery store, in the car, getting gas, you are there to connect from a space of love.
So whatever we're doing it's more like it facilitates us being able to connect with love.
Correct.
And whatever, instead of just we get so lost and obsessed, you might say, with what we're doing and having to get it done that we forget often. Wow, isn't it wonderful when, say, you think you blew it with someone or you did something you wish you didn't, and they say, oh, that's okay. It's all right. It's all right. It's very different, you know? So that's kind of unconditional love. But sometimes we're afraid unconditional love means we're going to just be passive and just be walked on and we have to, fight.
This is the Pleadians here. So there's a big difference between sending unconditional love and recognizing your own boundaries.
Okay, I'd like to talk a little about that if you will.
You know, anger is the emotion that you were given
yes.
to help you understand when it was your boundaries were being violated. So you could key into your third chakra, which is located right here, right below your rib cage here, and assert your sense of will. Take a breath on that, everyone, and really feel the truth of the benefit of feeling your anger.
So, yes. Even in the Bible, doesn't it say Jesus said, be angry and sin not? I wondered about that many times. What does that mean, be angry and sin not?
This is Nora, that's exactly what that means. That's right. And sin not is incredibly important because what most of us think is that anger is the root of violence and aggression. The root of violence and aggression is rage. And rage is an incredibly different sensation from anger.
Is it?
Yeah.
So
the way I perceive rage is a manifestation of trauma.
I see. Wow.
So how I define trauma is an overload of energy.
Okay. Overload of energy.
We can be traumatized by both negative stimulus and positive stimulus. But what happens is whatever's happening in the moment is too much for us to handle. So we freeze in that moment. And in that frozen moment, trauma, that's the traumatized moment.
I'm trying to get all that.
Yes.
Okay. When something's overwhelming, we can't handle it, so we kind of pull in. Is that it? And freeze?
You'll freeze. This is the Pleadians, or you actually leave your bodies. You leave completely.
Okay.
Which is why many people on the planet don't have conscious recall of their abuses.
Because they left their body when they were abused or something?
That's right.
Okay, so they don't remember it.
That's right, because they were not present to exist. In fact, what we've seen happen on your planet is with young children especially who are being abused, as they step out, there are angelic beings who will sit in the body in those moments and hold space.
Hold the space for them because of that's amazing. That's a lot to take in, that the angel actually, when they have to leave because of the trauma, there will be these spiritual
support.
Angels or beings.
It's not always true, but we see this happening. Depends on what contracts were written before the incarnation, what karmic contracts. So again, we're talking about that idea that everything is your creation, including those moments of abuse on some level. You all agree to that before you incarnate.
Okay, so we actually agree to that. We would never admit it.
I admit it.
You admit it?
I was abused as a child. I know exactly why I incarnated into that setup. I know exactly what that did for me. Helped me started asking questions at a young age, helped me define my anger, helped me define my power, helped me seek out healing for myself. At 15, I got on my bicycle and saw my first therapist.
Wow. So that really helped you move along.
It did.
Amazing. Wow. Well, we've just got a few more minutes. Actually, we're just getting it. I couldn't quite see that Okay, we've got 5 minutes left.
That flew.
So we do have time for one more call if someone wants to call in right now and take advantage of this. I just get the feeling that everyone's watching and taking it all in. It's pretty much to take in. They just want us to just move along, I think, and be able to catch up on it. Okay, but let's just talk about one more thing, here. And so we talked about feeling like we're being stalled, and we talked about unconditional love, and I can really see how that works to help us get out of the stalling. A lot of times when you feel stalled in some way or stuck, to put yourself out and give that love and even ask for that can really help move us along and work things out too pretty well. So how do we get out of this overactive mental body? This is just sort of coming around at the same thing we're talking about. But so often it's like first thing when something happens is we fall into that, trying to figure it out, and to be or not to be, is for, there's no answer really.
Well, so what we often see is the mental body becomes overactive because the emotional body begins to transmit a feeling.
Oh, okay.
So let's deal with anxiety, all right? You start feeling anxious, all right? So the feeling happens first.
Yes.
It's always feeling first, mental Thoughts second.
Okay. Feeling first and then mental.
Many of you on the planet think it's the other way around.
Yes.
You think you can think your way into feeling better.
Okay. Yes. This is what I'm talking about.
All right. Really, you have a feeling emerge, and then your mental body starts to react.
Right.
Only if you're in resistance, fear, uncomfortable dealing with feelings. A lot of you are getting to the place now where you can simply say, oh, I'm feeling anxious right now.
Uh-huh.
All right. So when you find yourself chattering in your mind, take a breath and ask yourself, how do I feel right now?
How do I feel? Okay.
And then answer the question with a feeling-based word. And we see a lot of you having trouble with this, even defining how you feel.
Yes, instead of being a mental thing like...
Yes.
Right.
So feeling-based, like angry, anxious, scared, frustrated, happy, joyful, whatever it is. Ask yourself, how do I feel?
Okay.
And then the next question you need to ask yourself is, what do I need? And that need that you're addressing is, what do you need to address the feeling state? All right? So if you're feeling anxious, and then you ask yourself, what do I need? And you get, oh, I need to go outside and take a walk.
Right. Okay.
Do that.
Just do it. Okay.
Which leads us to our other piece of information here. When your mind is going 1,000 miles a minute, get up and be physical.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Sometimes I can tell myself when I've been overactive. If something wants to move, and it's good to act on that. You know what? I see the credits coming up. We're just about gone.
Wow.
We're out of time. I hope everyone's really, I know everyone's really enjoyed it. I sure have. I've just been sitting here having to remember I'm a host of the show here and keep it moving along. But I just want to thank you so much for coming and sharing all this. And we're going to have several re-airs over the next 2 weeks.
Great.
So that people won't be able to call in, of course, but they'll be able to tune in and to hear this several times. And I hope that you'll just come back and talk with us again, though we haven't even hardly started. So we've got 1 minute. 1 minute. Just look into the camera and say one or two things that just come to your mind that you'd like to give everyone.
Remember that you are love. Remember that you are light. Remember that you are all one.
Okay. Wonderful.
Thank you,
and
Martha.
You're welcome. Remember, you can contact Nora. All the information was up in the graphics, and you can give her a call if you'd like, or contact her on her web. Okay? Thank you for coming, and thank you all. We'll see you in a couple weeks on Let Us Connect, 2 weeks from tonight, and we will be back with, and hopefully we'll be able, more of our wonderful viewers that we had will be watching and able to call in and share with us. Thank you, Nora, again. God bless.
Thank you,
You
Martha.
have a wonderful, wonderful time.